Okay, we're live now. What we're doing here is we're conducting a series of interviews. We're talking with authors from the piece, the Tapestry issue, the special issue on digital literacy in English language learners that we just published online. We've talked in the past couple interviews about where this interview series came from, but we wanted to take a little bit of time to talk with the authors of the pieces to figure out what was the real story behind the research, or what was the story behind the piece, or the ideas presented, and let them talk about their piece in a little bit more of an informal context. So today we're focusing on a piece that is titled Exploring New Paths to Academic Literacy for English Language Learners. And to get right into it, first I'll have my colleague Martha introduce herself, and then we'll go to one of our guests of honor.
Well, hello, my name is Martha Castañeda, and I'm an associate professor at Miami University, and I'm delighted to be here with the author of the piece of the special issue of Tapestry Journal.
Mayra, you want to introduce yourself, and also please introduce yourself, introduce your colleague virtually who we're having issues getting on.
Hi, my name is Mayra Daniel. It's really Mayra. I'm Cuban, and no one can say my name correctly. I'm an associate professor at Northern Illinois University, and I co-wrote this piece with my colleague Dong-Shin Chen, who is from Korea and is currently at Northern.
Very cool. So to get us off, can you explain the piece that you worked on? And what motivated you to submit this piece?
Well, we are in a technological age. Our students are very different from the students of the past. They live and they learn in different mediums today, and so do we. And what really motivated me to look at technology is that I am now a grandmother, and I have a 6-year-old grandson who uses technology in just such a marvelously exciting way. And so I've been looking at him, and he, of course, is growing up bilingual. And I see how technology has contributed to the development of his language. And so we began the piece by touching a little bit on, we had this anecdote. It was really an anecdote from my personal life. My grandson loves now and has always loved the Thomas the Train videos, which originated in England, but they have been translated to Spanish, but it is Castilian Spanish. And so we have had this youngster pop up with language that is not used in Cuba, which is our country of my country of origin. My daughter married a Mexican American, and it's not, so he pops up with words that are synonyms across the different countries, the different hemispheres. And so I realized that technology is indeed part of our everyday world, and it is part of our children's worlds, and they're learning in a totally and entirely different way. Also, I work with teachers, with practicing teachers, and they tell me now how they use their telephones to document what they observe their students doing. And after they do that, when they have to send in, I mean, the apps that they use are really instrumental in helping them to quickly monitor and evaluate how their students are doing. And these help them to then write the reports that they have to write. So technology is just, it's where we're going. You know, technology supports biliteracy development in incredible ways. We are just beginning to explore this.
Wonderful, Mayra. It's so great to hear from you and to hear what really inspired you, and it's something, a very personal story. So could you tell us a little bit, we're going to move on to question number 2. For you, why is it important to provide English learners with opportunities to use digital texts and tools in the classroom? What do you think? Why do you think it's important to use this technology in the classroom with English language learners?
There are so many reasons why it's important for ELs to have access to technology. First of all, technology is available 24/7. It's always available to them. Parents have access to technology. And when we think about it, how are our students being evaluated? PARC is coming. Assessment tools are technology-based, and our students have to be ready to use current technologies so that they can demonstrate their knowledge. We must prepare them for this. Now, for ELs, technology offers them opportunities to listen and to collaborate, to read. They can, if they are completing a task, check online dictionaries. They have visuals available that help increase their comprehension. And I know teachers tell me that for young learners, technology, if they don't have the fine motor skills, they can type. Technology is easier, so they can write. And the thing about technology is that we live in a technologically oriented world. Our children are seeing us use our iPhones to photograph and send messages. And so technology in the classroom isn't isolated from technology in the world. So the entire world is coming into the classroom, so that working in the classroom with classmates and collaborating with the teacher is no longer separate from what we do in our careers. So, I mean, we have absolutely no choice. We are now people who think through our use of technology.
I think that's well stated. It's one of the things that motivates me. You know, you talked earlier about having youngsters and how technology just inundates everything that we do. You know, I frequently talked about, you know, I have a 4.5-year-old that I've just seen him grow up with technology, and now I see the fact that, you know, I'm always carrying these devices around. He now has the iPad or wants to play with the phone, and now this is a window, a mirror into anywhere. You know, and now the technology is getting so good that you know, he can carry on dialogue and discussions with other people in other places, and we're seeing the technology now advance to the point where it can translate for you. You know, I mean, Skype now, you can translate and talk with another person in another language, and the technology translates for us. So
we
go
have
ahead.
we have iPhones and other forms of phone communication, not just in the United States but throughout the world. And the fantastic thing about technology is I work in Guatemala with teachers. They all have telephones, Androids, and so on and so forth. And the children do too, where they may not be able to afford a computer. They can afford a telephone. And internet connectivity is, we know, free in many, many places. And so we have opportunities to share language literacy with all of these learners.
I agree. So a question for you, and this isn't one of the 4, so I apologize. You know, a lot of times when we try to bring technology into the classroom, we have teachers say, well, I can't really do that because my students don't have it. You know, I don't want to do that because of the 1 student or 2 students out of the 25 that don't have it. We know globally, access in many locations is not a problem. You know, I've seen some of the incredible work in Africa where they don't have electricity, but everybody has cell signal and they can power their devices. So what is your response to people that say, you know, access might be an issue, that we should not use technology, that we shouldn't integrate it into, you know, in our case, English language learner instruction, or into just into the classroom?
I think if we keep using it, we're going to be getting it free in more and more places. I just think there has to be a push for this because, for example, I have a Kindle. It's just a magnificent thing. Anywhere I am, I can read. And I don't know how many other people I've met who have Kindles. You know, you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep and you read for a little while and you relax. and you feel so good. So I just think we have to keep pushing. I remember 5, 6 years ago when I would go to Guatemala, I would not have the technology access that I do now. I remember 10 years ago going to Mexico and having to pay to use technology, and now it's everywhere. But the real catch is that our children are 21st century learners, and they develop and they grow and they think and they interact with technology so much better than we do. So that's why one of the things that we're doing now is the flipped classroom, which is just simply an adaptation to what we used before. But we have, through technologies, opportunities for the teacher to become the learner and for the learners to become the teachers. And even within a classroom, on a Monday or a Tuesday, a teacher can work with a few students while the rest of the students have technology to help them direct and guide their learning and develop the skills that they need to become leaders. I mean, technology does this. It just happens.
And Mayra, I can't help but think that the access of technology, we interviewed another author of the special issue, and in her piece she found that students will find a way to get access to this technology. They will go to the library, they will go to their uncle's house, so they find a way. So it seems that access to technology is not a challenge for a student. For our students, for our English learners, especially in the classroom. They will find a way. But so these are strengths now. They're not a weakness in our field anymore. But what challenges do you see to make the use of technology in the classroom with English language learners? What challenges do you see happening?
The biggest challenge of all is that technologies have to be selected carefully by the teacher, so that they are not a replacement for pencil and paper forms. It's just similar to graphic organizers. Graphic organizers can help students think, but if they become a fill in the blanks, then they no longer do the job. So teachers have to choose technologies in a way that puts the students in charge, that allows the students to develop, to guide their thinking, and to be in control. So it's an avenue for exploration. If a student has access to technology, a student can do research, not only in English, but in different languages. So I think that is the key component of this. Students have to be able to direct their learning and not feel that they're just satisfying a teacher's requirement. And I think that this is where we're going in education. We have challenges because of all the testing and so on, but teachers really want the students to go forward and to be in charge and to explore and to think and to work at their zone of proximal development. And technology allows students to do this. I hope that answers the question.
It does.
What was that? So, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but I'm really intrigued to have you expand on it a little bit. What opportunities do we have to break down the classroom walls and really bring some of those out-of-school literacies into the classroom, using technology, using these digital literacies? What challenges what opportunities are out there? What can we really do if we allow ourselves?
I see nothing but opportunities. I don't see any challenges. I just see a wide open world. Technology gives the students immediate feedback. If they're writing, they have spell check. Technology allows the students to collaborate. Through Google, everybody can see what is happening. Technology taps multiple intelligences. So we have visual input, we have auditory input, we have the person who can write. Technology for ELS is magnificent because they can be involved even before they have high levels of English language proficiency. Now, technology also can help us scaffold the learning, and the collaborative platforms support when students are working together and giving each other feedback, they learn to interact with other people. Therefore, it's not only helping them achieve academically, but it is helping their development as human beings. It is preparing them for the workplace. Now, one thing I love Ofelia Garcia's work on translanguaging, and I think technology allows for those hybrid language practices that all of us who are bilingual and trilingual and multilingual engage in. It's a medium for us to develop ideas and to grow in our expression of ideas, and it reflects what real English learners do, what students who are learning other languages do. So I think technology affords us so many opportunities for developing our biliteracies and our multiliteracies, and to prepare for the work world. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want all of our ELs to succeed and to feel that they can aspire to good jobs, to well-paying jobs. And also, I think technology allows social networking, allows the students to express their thoughts. And so when they do that, they feel that they have the right to express their opinions. So it is critical literacy in action.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure, Mayra. It truly has been a pleasure to hear you bring your piece that you wrote, the manuscript that you wrote for the Tapestry Journal, to life, to hear about your motivation, what you believe are the challenges, but more importantly, what you believe are the strengths. It truly has been just a pleasure to hear you bring that piece to life. So with that in mind, we want to remind the audience that Mayra's piece, Mayra with her co-author, Dongxin Shin, their piece is available online. The Tapestry Journal is an open source journal, so all the journal articles are available to you online. With a quick search of a Google search of the Tapestry Journal, you will find Mayra and her co-author's piece about exploring new paths to academic literacy for English learners.
Thank you very much. Mayra, any last words?
No, thank you for chatting with me.
Definitely, it was an awesome half hour. So
Did we
what we're going to do
half
is
hour?
no, a little bit less,
Oh, I hope so.
So we have a couple technical issues bringing Dongxin Shin into the video. What we're going to do is reach back out and possibly next week have a separate interview. But with that, as Martha said, hunt down the piece online and let's continue the dialogue. Let's figure out how we can use these tools effectively in our classroom with all students, most notably English learners. Thank you very much.